Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation, looking for the stabilizing syllability of sensorality. Showing sensorality is, and then showing the direct iteration of those letters into a word form that you are well aware of. We renormalized, right? Sensorality is essentiality. So just trying to show that complete iteration of the letters. Moving on with derivation, similar to the other ones, some physics, mostly logic. Sensorality is aversion to adversity. All right, what is the theme of mathematics? Mathematics is thematics. We're having this like self-generating question, which will contain all the letters, all the syllability needed for our definition, and it will produce a new word form, which will be our next form of word to iterate through to establish an axiom. All right, we've derived a lot of in, right? I is the base of in is the base of ing, right? What is this thing, right? Vibration is the physical base of everything, and then the syllable that represents vibration is ing. And so the most general anything can be is a thing. And then logically, you represent that with it. Right? A thing is an it. And so that's kind of, again, driving this entire structure. So again, refreshing, we talk about in plus gore equals ignore. And so it's something special about these letters, I don't know. Again, speciality, but it felt necessary to point that out again. Like this alternating of you take two words, you iterate gore by in, meaning you take the letters from in and alternate them into gore. You get the word ignore. Obviously, you're iterating gore within. It just feels pertinent to point it out. Sensorality is in-ing-ality. But not inning, like a baseball inning with two N's. Just the word in, the syllable ing, and then ality. The opposite of an in is out, right? My ride or die, we're going sliding on the ops. Are you in or you out, right? Or is to opposition, right? We've derived and discussed inversion versus opposition. What is opposition to out, right? If you're opposing something, you're out of it, right? I don't like that idea, I'm out. All right, I oppose that. Just continuing on with our logic. What is a verb to a verse, right? Another verse, serve, verb, vibe, verb, vowel, verse. What's going on here? Trying to just show this consistency. Sensorality is reverberality. And again, historically, this happened at Philadelphia. I'm driving down Henry Avenue, and it's just like reverberation, right? That's what you're doing with your vocal cords, is reverberating. It was a very, again, empirical derivation for me occurs without words, and then I just sit down here and tell you the realization. And so, but that was a very poignant physical realization for me. Again, probably 2018, reverberation just like came out. But it was a very poignant part and pertinent part of this proof. That again continues to be, my rights are denied, I'm being tortured, that is all legitimate every single day, nothing is going to change. Sensorality reverberates. But again, historically, the amount of steps that have been lost to history because I've simply not been allowed to record them is insane. I mean, this entire whole process that you are now watching me do publicly has been done before I turned 7. And then I just kind of sat around and did nothing, and then did the whole process again in my late teens and finished it in my early 20s. Again, just like bumping into shit when you get exposed to a concept in math class, and then you wait 6 months before you get exposed to another concept, and you just do fucking nothing for that 6-month period in between. And so to continue to, again, to destroy history, in addition to torturing me, destroying my life, and subjecting me to brutality, is just insanity on insanity, no one cares. Berate, reverberate. Intrication is involved. Sensorality involves. Orbiting revolves. Spin revolves. Sensorality revolves. Another one of these word forms that's very obviously relevant to life, right? Vivaciousness, biber, bibe, to live, this double iteration of V, which just intuitively, and again, without the step-by-step logical proof that we've done up to this point. The letter V is another one of this iteration elements. S, C, V. Again, these different consonants, we can add a lot more depth to what's going on, but just that double iteration of the letter V in a lot of different languages, like vivid. It's all, again, some sort of iteration of vibration, and then relevant to life. Prior is before. So now here's a very interesting phrase that I'm sure you've said before, you've heard before, but it shows, again, this bridging of logic, right? Before you forget, right? Two of these words where it's like forget, we discussed how that's kind of just like weird. We all know intuitively what forgetting means, but like the linguistical structure, for and get. All right, a compound word just meaning you don't remember something. And so before, right, be, again, another compound word, before you forget. So again, we're bridging over that for, F-O-R-E. Language is literal, just pointing out exactly what it is. But again, we're at this point where we've derived the structure of language, so it's a legitimate proof, right? Each one of these steps is a huge thing unknown to math class, and it's just like fuck Brad's entire existence. But now we have another, again, when we went from last episode, we finally got to, again, the logical bridging of sensorality, that ality, right, and electricality to electricity, which it does drop a syllable, electricality. Electricity. But again, we go from sensorality to sensorility, right? It's again, clear logical limit. You say electricity all the time, you never say electricality, but you do say electrical. And so we're just completing these word families by prefix and suffix, and this is how language already develops. No one's just articulated the structure of it. And so, all right, sensorality is sorally. Sensorality is sensorily. And that is a word we are back in known ontology. You can go on your computer and type in sen, and it will autocorrect to sensorily. Sensorality is sensorily. Essentiality is sensorily. But now again, we've logically renormalized again. We've found a word form very clearly, letter by letter, out in the wild, right? You have to go from sensorality to sensorility to produce sensorily, or sensorily. And so that's another big step. Sensorality is orality. And so, again, another one of these things where it's in the completing ordinality video, part 260, I wanted to, like, the motivation, why would you put ing on something, right? Clearly, if you take something and you put ing on it, it makes it a verb. But chronologically, right, verbs are our base. So why is something, what is the motivation to start with a noun and then go to a verb? What is the motivation for putting ing on something? And so, and again, you start with this conceptualization, and everything, like the definition starts as a noun. A good, easy way to see that is Google. Right? You have somebody who thinks of an idea, and we have this mathematical concept of Google, which is well defined, our numeric bound of really, really, really big, and then the company, Google. And so Google is a thing, a company, right? And so then that thing becomes so pervasive, it becomes a verb, right? It's so specific, it gets integrated, it gets specified. Googling, right, is a verb, right? You have Google, then you have Googling. And so the definition of something kind of starts out as a noun, and then you derive to the verb, and the verb is the base, and vibration, verb. Vibration is the base, stabilize into charge, charge stabilize into mass, and then all of that information is contained within our physical systems. And so that's kind of like the motivation, or at least another piece of insight to go from noun to verb. The definition kind of starts general, and then you make it more specific. And we see that Googling. But now we can state the fundamental theorem of linguistics, which we've already stated and derived, and now we just want to formalize it. Yes, right? A thing is a noun. Just thing, not a thing. Thing is a noun. That's the whole theorem. And again, we've also used, the fundamental theory or theorem of linguistics. Words are irreducible. And so now we've made it more specific. Thing is a noun. And we can completely derive functionality. It's super simple in general, but this is, again, thinging, which I forget which part that one is. That's like the general form of specific solution, right? Because you have it that represents ing logically with our words. That's where you see it in all of these different words. But thing is a noun, and things do stuff, right? That's all functionality. You go find an object, you'll say, what is this thing? What does it do? Let's pick up an object in the woods, that's what's happening. Things do stuff. Side, consider. Sensorality considers. Fine, define. Sensorality defines. So again, we see this, again, this vowel where we're iterating the consonants. Side, again, vibe, the I to the E, side, the I to the E, fine, I to the E. We've proven fine is a form of finite. I'm doing fine, I'm okay. Fine is okay. And then again, with this E to the A, sensorality, sedation, right? That was the logical opposite of sensation is sedation. And you kind of get that rhyming closeness as well. And so I to the E, such as vibe and side and ride and hide, and then E to the A, again, some sort of generalizing logical structures apparent there. But anyway, continuing on, sensorality defines, sensorality definites. Definite is not undefined. Sensorality is well defined. That's another one of these word forms that I've used I haven't really proven yet, and you probably haven't followed along all that well because you've never seen somebody derive and prove the words they use, again, like this military climb where one letter word goes up the wall and we pull up the other letters. That's what we're doing linguistically with the letters. But well-defined is hyphenated. And so what is defined? You're in high school and all the girls are like, he's got a defined body. What are you saying defined? It is resolved, right? You can see the definitions. If he's got a defined body, he's got biceps or abs, or if she's got a defined body, she's got a nice booty or abs as well, or arms or whatever, right? Defined is this word we use to describe physical structure, our bodies. If you're in good shape, which is not me anymore, makes me sad. I'm not really in that bad a shape, I guess, but I have back injury. Like I have grave bodily harm in like 4 different ways, genuinely, all caused by not having constitutional rights. Back to the derivation, well-defined, again, naturally presents hyphenated. And we've derived hyphenation. It's some sort of like, again, I don't know what it is, but we've derived why that appears. It's like slang gets hyphenated. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point being is we've derived well-defined. Well-defined, right, resolution produces definition physically, right? We can restate that as the fundamental theorem of physics. And I don't do that like haphazardly. It just, this is deriving physical law with words. I mean, you guys never seen the logical structure of this involved, and there's no difficulty to it. You guys just can't follow along. But, right, that's a physical definition. Resolution produces definition. And so we've derived physically, right, what is a dictionary? A book of definitions, right? It's a relation to other words. Spelling a word constructs a variable, and context defines it. Context, the other words used around it. And so that's a big step, going from sensorality is well defined, right? You're probably thinking logically, like this is a concept we understand, but physically definition is produced by resolution. If you're looking at somebody's and they have a fit body, a fit aesthetic, you're saying, right, their muscles are defined, they're resolved, you can see them. And so resolution produces definition. Sensorality is definitionality. Sensorality is finition. Continuing on with our derivation, my rights continue to be violated. It is profound and extensive torture. I continue to beg for asylum. And I just want overhauling of the entire academic community. I have no expectation that in my lifetime anything will ever change. I will live and die in this fucking hell where no one just acknowledges my entire life's work. And there's nothing short of again, you cannot have a thought or a realization without that fundamental logic literally sitting on the internet with proof around it. And that's been true for a decade. And so to the people in the future, whenever my work gets recognized and whenever my estate is realized, use every single penny, and I want to restart academia. The people that have done this sabotage science, I don't care what happens to me, none of that shit even remotely matters. Punish every single person you can. Every crime, every charge, every journalist, every newscaster, every lawyer, every academic, every law enforcement agent, everybody. The faster human behavior change, the better it is for the most amount of people. Do it. I don't care who the fuck they are, president, governor, foreign agent, it doesn't matter. Human beings need to learn to behave, and they aren't, and the time has passed for it to sit around and do nothing. And that's not going to say, I'm going to go do something. I'm going to sit here, continue to give lectures, and every single one of them, I'm going to reinforce, make the law make sense, and then enforce it. No leniency, no mercy, no nothing. What has been done to me, due to them. The consequences of sabotaging science, due to them. Take responsibility for your actions, enforce the law, give me my money, and fuck everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for destroying my family. Thank you for destroying my health. Thank you for destroying my property. Thank you for committing fraud. Genuinely, everyone that says America has freedom, lawsuit, fraud, right? Just like we were watching the fucking pedophiles that run this country act like that shit doesn't happen. We watched Tiananmen Square in China and they act like that doesn't happen. You were watching people in real time try to act like I don't exist. Too bad, motherfucker. Every bit of scientific information you could ever realize is on the internet. All you can do is literally wipe me off of this planet and destroy my entire life's work, and then just slowly rediscover the shit that I already discovered. Get fucked, you arrogant pieces of shit. That's all I have for you today. Again, I just can't emphasize enough. Every bit of legal and lawful punishment that can be enforced must be enforced. I do not care what happens to me. That is not some sort of erratic statement. Here is the law. Here are the people that broke it. Fuck them. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.